Let's check this
Canada
one
and
out.
the US to an unprecedented extent. Is this about climate change, or is something more nefarious going on? To find out, let's start by talking to an environmental science professor. I'm Dr. Dave Ecologic, and I'll be your host of this session that will bring together various perspectives on the issue. First, I'll introduce the participants, and then I'll lay out the basic facts. This is a role play, and here are my participants. Forrest Guy, who you've already met, Mr. R. Sonist, Trey Hugger, Rich Olagi, John Doe, and Dr. Psych. At the end of this, let me know if you enjoy role plays or if this is just way too silly. Like and subscribe if you find this valuable. Wildfires have become increasingly common in Canada over the past few decades, but in the spring and summer of 2023, the wildfires have been absolutely unprecedented in terms of numbers and in terms of the total area destroyed by the fires. The fires have been bigger, hotter, and sooner, for instance starting in March instead of in May or in June. There have been more smoke and air quality issues, choking out Canadian and U.S. cities and billowing across the Atlantic toward...
Sounds a lot like fear-mongering with his AI self, if that is what he looks like.
Yes, there is a psychological basis to conspiracy theories. People who are neurotic, paranoid, and distrustful of authority are quick to create and believe conspiracy theories. On the other hand, ordinary people who are fearful and just don't understand something may find comfort in an imaginary narrative that makes sense to them on the basis of their beliefs. I have Mr. John Doe in my chair today.
Imaginary narrative.
And he...
What do you call this?
He believes in conspiracy theories about wildfires. Mr. Doe, what do you believe is causing Canadian wildfires? It's space lasers and eco-terrorists. Well, we don't have lasers that would fire from satellite height and still be a concentrated enough beam to cause a fire. Plus the Earth is spinning and the satellite's moving. It just wouldn't work. How much do you know about environmental science and climate change? I know that I don't know, but it's a hoax and a witch hunt. I'm sure the science seems strange in terms of starting a forest fire. Is this a familiar and comfortable explanation for a fire? Yeah. Now keep your eyes closed for the next few minutes. Can you visualize who or what would be starting forest fires? Maybe a cabal of baby-eating environmental terrorists. Let's explore that. Are the environmentalists you know about carnivores or vegetarians? Vegetarians? So they wouldn't eat babies, would they? Baby lettuce?
Is anyone else getting a kick out of this? Let's fast forward.
Wear a mask and to make me pay a carbon tax. No, John, nobody's going to burn their forest down to make you wear a mask. Wearing a mask is the alternatives. We'll all be glad we've done it. Okay, but maybe the government is starting. In other words, somebody has a grudge against a certain church, and so, oops, a forest fire starts right about there. Or there's a murder scene that needs to be covered up, and so a forest fire starts there.
As someone who has worked some fire cases, I have to say, there are a lot more fires that are started this way, accidental, than you would like to imagine.
Again, arson is very rare, and all suspicious fires are investigated by experts. So, why are wildfires happening more often then? What's happening is that global temperatures have been rising since the 1950s, especially in Canada, which is heating faster than most other places. Warmer forests are drier and burn better. Lightning storms happen more often in a warm world. What we're seeing is the effects of climate change. In these unprecedented times, various people have more at stake. Climate change people are saying, look what's happening. Anti-climate change people are saying, it can't be climate change. Look over here. It must be one of any number of imaginative conspiracy theories. Okay, I can wrap my head around all that. There are other reasons for conspiracy theories besides psychological ones. Number one, they make great clickbait, so internet influencers try to make them go viral. Number two, political ideology. The majority of
Yes, we can read, unless you're driving and listening. Political ideology, the fossil fuel industry, yep, blah, 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 blah. Anything else?
business. You take black goo from the ground and you make it into dozens of fuels and millions of products. And all that money is divided among relatively few people because you need deep pockets. Oil fields, refineries, ships and pipelines to really cash in. No other energy business is so easy to monopolize. Good luck trying to stop me. You can avoid falling for conspiracy theories. You can support the funding to fight fires. Believe it or not, there are governments. You could have extra masks and air purifiers on hand in case it becomes too smoky. And you could plan an escape route in case you should suddenly have to evacuate.
That's true. If you are told to evacuate, please evacuate, because I have personally met 5 to 10 people, in being from California, while still in California, now in northern Florida, who have lost their homes, their second homes, their whole property, and it did burn down. So if they tell you to evacuate, I don't care if you have to sleep in your car, evacuate.
And we should support climate-related changes. For example, nobody wants a carbon tax, but we should support it as a necessary means to an end. When hybrid cars and electric cars become more...
As a former tax auditor, I'm not going to support another tax, being that there is like 70% in taxes that have been added in the 1900s alone. So no thank you, because there's a lot of misappropriation of funds.
more available, we should support them too, as a means of decreasing our dependence on fossil fuel and all the carbon that it releases. In wrapping things up, I'd like to thank all my guests for participating today, and I'd like to thank you, my audience, for watching this video. If you found it useful, please like and subscribe, and let me know whether or not you enjoy this kind.
Okay, I didn't really see any facts here, any obvious things, other than he's just a guy who is doing role plays and getting people to think, to question. He's also showing that you can have different timelines, different stories, different personalities going on at the same time, and more than one thing could be true. Some of the fires or fire might be accidental, other parts might not, until we have evidence to prove that, which is why I'm asking if you have seen anything related to the fires. Please let us know and let the authorities know. Thank you. Have a great day.